Hi, welcome to Living in the Light, and I'm Mary Amy, and I'm all about shifting away darkness, guiding you to your true potential, and cracking open that beautiful glowing light in your heart. Welcome, it's July 3rd, it's Monday in the Matrix work week. We're going to have a national holiday tomorrow, 4th of July, rah, 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 for the United States of America. Anyone who's joining us, I hope you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Tonight, we're going to cover topics like what's going on with these France riots, climate change, and there was one more thing. What was it? Nesara, Gesara. Of course, I'm going to mention angels and psychic phenomenon. So how is everyone doing? How's everyone's weekend? I hope everyone is enjoying. Maybe you took off these 4 days. I had a half day today, my job in the Matrix. So I'm coming to you live from New York. I'm Mary Amy. And what am I here for? Well, I'm here to share topics that I find that are relevant and maybe travel down the rabbit hole with you and do some research. And I'm also here to remind you of your clairsenses. We all have these abilities within us, our intuition. Maybe you receive premonition dreams or you have visions. Maybe you have been receiving telepathic messages or communications from other sources. It might be angelic, it might be extraterrestrial, maybe it's coming from a higher consciousness. They say there's a metaverse, there's so many versions of us. Maybe it's another version of you, I don't know. Okay, let me remind you, it's really helpful to you and your process and your development to keep track of your dreams. Some kind of description, the date. It's a good idea to write down the date and what were your emotions that you had, because your sleeping dreams can guide you. Some of our thoughts are repressed. Some of our past is repressed, as well as our memories. And if we start to pay attention to our dreams, if you say, oh, well, I don't even remember my dreams, I'll say to you, all you have to do, you'll jog your memory if you say to yourself, I'd like to remember my dreams, when I wake up. And within 2 weeks, you should. Or there's something that's really blocking you from your sleeping dreams, and it's blocking you from your success. And maybe there's something within you that is fearful, and that's why you can't remember your dreams. So make an effort. And then what you want to do is a little analysis. You might want to say, what is this a symbol of when you write down your dreams? Maybe you have a dream related to water, which is water's your emotions. It's a way of cleansing yourself. Water is significant because it means that there's something emotional within you that you might have to deal with. Or maybe it's just because it's one of the elements, our 5 elements: water, air, fire, earth, and ether. It might show something to you about your future or a direction you should go into. So just keep track of your dreams. That's my suggestion, as well as your thoughts. What are your thoughts? Now, we can't control anything out here in the physical reality, in the 3-dimensional, in the simulation. We're actually only seeing 1% of what's going on. We're not really trained. We haven't honed our crafts within us, our abilities, because it wasn't something that took precedence. It wasn't something that was identified to us as children as being important. But if we started out when we were children, we were running around and we were playful and we were using our imagination, we probably would already all be across the globe speaking to each other telepathically. Our thoughts are very important, and we can create whatever we want. We can change outcomes. And how do we do that? Well, we're in this moment right now, aren't we? Anyone who's joining us, write in the description. Tell me what's going on with you. I mean, in the chat, in the description. How do we create tomorrow for ourselves? Well, we're not going to do it by sitting here and going, well, in 20 years, I really want on my bucket list, I'd really love to get an RV and travel all over the United States of America. Bucket list, Make it right now. Take one of your 5 humongous, or you want to say 10 humongous goals. 10 humongous goals. What are your humongous goals? I hope you have a list. I'm going to take one of those and we're going to imagine it right here before us in this right now, here in this physical reality. Now, the other day, if you were with us, you saw, oh, my table's jiggling. You saw that we were creating a ball of light. Now, why were we doing that? Because light is energy. We're bringing energy right here. Everything matters, right? Everything is energy, isn't it? It's what form it takes. And so right here in this moment, we're going to imagine, we're going to take something from our 10 humongous goals and we're going to imagine it right here before us. Now, if you're not someone who's super creative, you might be a numbers person, someone who takes everything literally, it's going to be a little bit of work for you. But if you're somebody who likes to paint or draw or write, or you build things, maybe you daydream a lot, it might be easier for you. I don't know why the table's moving so much. Oh, I know, because I'm right up against it. Ha! I'm too close to the table. So what you want to do is right here in this moment, we're going to take something from our list of 10 humongous goals, and we're going to imagine it right here. Whatever it is, the tippy top of your list. Make it the biggest, and that's how you're going to bring it here into your reality. You are going to create it with your thoughts, with your imagination, with your spirit, because from the base of your spine, you're pulling up all of your personal power and you're going to create it right here. So we're closing our eyes, maybe let out a breath, make sure you're relaxed, and then you're going to imagine it here. And what are you going to see? Well, let's see. I'm going to do my own, what I want, what my goal, what my desire is. I'm going to imagine it right here before me. And what am I imagining? I'm imagining everything. Everything in that reality of what I want. All the lines, who are the characters, the people, the individuals that are there with me. What does it look like? If there's furniture, what does the furniture look like? If it's a landscape, what does the landscape look like? The colors, the texture, the weather, the time of year, details. The more details you have, the more possibility that you will create it, because our thoughts are charged impulses. They carry emotions and feelings. That's how come when you think of someone, that all of a sudden they call you up. You don't have to text them. You don't have to email them. You don't even have to say anything. They will just hear you because you're sending energy through the ether, through the air, across the planet, whatever it is. So we're imagining it right here before us. Now, what are your feelings that you have when you imagine this wonderful, humongous goal, this desire, this destiny of yours? Are your feelings like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited, I can't wait? Or are you like, oh no, I can't do this. This is silliness. Well, guess what? It's not going to work then. You have to really let go of any doubt. Take away any doubt. We've spoken about that over and over again. It's essential. So you take away all the doubt. Now look, I'm not saying this is easy. We've been crushed. We've been crushed. We've been kicked around, haven't we? Our whole lives. And we've been told there's always a villain. Look over your shoulder. Look over there, not over here. And we've been tricked. We spoke about magic tricks the other day. You know that game with the balls underneath the cups? It's an illusion. So we are making it happen for ourselves. So we're imagining it and we're having positivity about whatever this desire is. And in this moment, you're creating it, not tomorrow. It's not on a bucket list. It's right here. That's fake stuff. That's to keep us running on the hamster wheel. We can have everything right now. All right, so I'm imagining it. What does it feel like? What does it look like? What are details? I want to have excitement when I'm imagining it. And I'm imagining it right here in this moment. And everyone who I want around me or who I see around me. And maybe you're receiving some information in your clairsenses, your clairaudience, your hearing, your clairvoyance. You're seeing your heart, you're feeling your clairsustenance, audience, clairvoyance, your claircognizance. You're going to create it. No one else cares. No one really cares if you reach your goals. Maybe a mom cares about if their kid does. But everyone else, guess what? We're all on our own. No one's saving us. There's not a big profit that's going to come down. We can't expect any of the leaders to be there for us, because guess what? They're just worried about their bank account. So we want our dreams and desires to happen for us immediately, ASAP, like this, don't we? All right, so what's going on in France? Hey, Bob Harding gets married. Oh, congratulations. Oh, that's beautiful. Good for you. Well, that's wonderful. I'm glad. Happiness. That's a good thing. A new life, right? She's stepping through a portal. You know, every time you change your belief system, you're stepping through a portal. It might be invisible, but you know you've done it because all of a sudden you feel a little bit differently. You're raising your vibration. How else do you raise your vibration? Besides changing your belief system? And it might be just, when I say system, I mean, it might be a thought. It might be, oh, I had an epiphany. I didn't need to do that. I can do this. And everything changes after that. You kind of know when you turn a corner. It's a physical sensation you have within you. But you know when things get better and they improve. And just when you least expect it, you might feel as though, oh, I'm so down in the dumps. It's not working out for me. I'm working so hard and I'm not getting anywhere. Don't give up. Never give up. As I say, it's light on the horizon, right? It's like a rectangle. I would have this dream and I'd go up to this window and there'd be the sun rising above the horizon. And I'd see reds and yellows and oranges. And what did it mean? Light on the horizon means good things are coming beyond your view. A difficult situation will improve. You can't see it, but it's coming. That's what faith is. There's nothing physical, tangible, you can concrete that you can touch on to know. Faith is just, you have to believe. And I believe. Do you believe? All right, so what are the France riots? What is this? Well, there's been these riots going on. Now, the printer didn't do a very good job because it's almost out of ink, but you can see. So everything's red. Everything was red in this photo, red and orange. And I was hearing about this on social media, not really much about it in the mainstream media because we know that's paid programming. And they're probably leaders. So Macron is actually shutting down their social media, the president of France. So what's going on? Well, there's this blackout going on in France because the social media is going to go off because France is, they say, on fire. So what's happening? Hey, who's that? Darian, hi. Thanks for joining us. I don't know who you are. What's your name? Where are you coming from? I'm Mary and I'm living in New York, coming live. So President Macron withdraws social networks and he's going to abolish them and have censorship. Ban on reporting. Well, we've kind of experienced some of that, haven't we? We've experienced some of that because we know that I told you that I have what's it called? I'm shadow banned on Twitter and all of my other social media. But guess what? I'm going to keep going. I'm not giving up. I'm going to stay on social media because you know what? Even if it's grassroots, I'm still going to be on there. So the military is mobilizing. Now, what caused this riot? Allegedly, I mean, what I heard. Now, are these paid anchor? What am I saying? Anchornists. I can't even say it. Anchornists. You know what I'm trying to say. All of a sudden, I can't say it. Anarchists. Anarchists. So there's paid anarchists, or is this real people that are rioting? So there's been 6 days of riots in France. 6 riots and robberies, 11,113 garbage fires. Okay, 5,662 vehicle fires, 1,059 buildings destroyed. Someone on Twitter posted that. And is this a civil war or are these paid anarchists? So what allegedly happened? What happened was this boy was at a stoplight and he was in his car. He was 17 years old, a French citizen. He was Algerian. and Moroccan descent. I don't know if you know this. I did a little searching. I went down the rabbit hole to find out what's going on here. His name is Nahil Merzik, and he was fatally shot by a police officer while driving away from a traffic stop. And this was on Tuesday of last week, June 22nd or June 27th. And so he was a member of the rugby team. He lived 15 kilometers from an area, central Paris. And so this has triggered days of violent protests. Now, we know in the United States of America here, we had that George Floyd incident, and that created riots as well. And I think the BLM took part in a lot of that. And what I saw from these videos are a lot of these protests, people are wearing masks. Now, I don't know why they're wearing masks. Are they wearing masks so that we don't know who they are? Are they paid? Are they real citizens upset about this? And I'm not disputing that. I'm not arguing that there wouldn't be people very annoyed that this boy was murdered, or you want to say fatally shot. So apparently the president, Macron, has deployed 40,000 French officers to handle this, and 5,000 as well in Paris. So what's going on here? Is this going to be something that triggers some kind of violence in France? Because then I also heard that this was going to kind of drift into happening in Belgium and Switzerland as well. So I don't know what's going to happen. We have to wait and see, and let's pray for everyone. I always say, let's pray for everyone, and we want to take anyone with us who is open to like this new possibilities, this new civilization, the fifth dimension. We've been living in this sphere of programming, and we've kind of discovered that a lot of what we were taught or told is kind of fake and not real. And so is it a psyop? Are our whole lives a psyop? I'm not quite sure. We're going to find out, because guess what? Everything's kind of unraveling and it's being revealed. And there is more disclosure. So climate change. Now, why am I bringing up climate change? Because, like always, if I see something that I sense is imminent, something that might be going on right here. Now, what climate change is like a whole subject going on. Now, when I say climate change, what am I talking about? Essentially, it's global warming. So what is that exactly? They say, and I mean by they, I mean the leaders and those in positions of power have been saying it's an increase in the global average temperature and its effects on the Earth's climate system. Previously, long-term changes to the Earth. So is there a modification of the Earth's climate as a result of changes in the atmosphere and interactions between the atmosphere? Now, they're saying that it's because of human activities. Now, I'm going to bring up climate change. It's not for the reasons you think. It's not for me to go, oh yeah, rah, rah. I think climate change is a real thing. Maybe not. Maybe that's not what I'm going to say. Just bear with me for a minute, because you know how I go traveling down the rabbit hole, and I'm not bringing it up to be saying, oh, I believe that everything is caused by climate change. People are having heart attacks because of climate change. The banks are crashing because of climate change. Really? Seriously? That sounds ridiculous, doesn't it? Climate change is supposedly because of human activities beginning from the Industrial Revolution and growing influence, and it's because of our human activity, supposedly, okay? And various other geological, chemical, biological, and geographic factors within the Earth's system. Now, I'm going to remind you about HAARP. Do we know what HAARP is? I'm going to bring up that in a minute. So before I get on to HAARP, I want to say, apparently there's other factors. Is it the ocean's currents, geographic position of the continents, ocean? The climate is defined loosely as the average weather, temperature, precipitation and humidity of windiness. Now that's what we've been taught climate change is, but the definition has kind of changed over the last few years. And what exactly is it? And they say, well, if you have an electric car, you're not going to affect the climate change. And if you take away your gas stove, if you don't run your car, and blah, 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 all of this, right? And again, I'm going to say the climate is loosely defined as the average of weather, temperature, precipitation, and humidity. Now, we all know that climate changes automatically, doesn't it? Because none of that is for sure. Like, for example, today, here I am in New York, and I was at my job in the Matrix, and my plan was to stay there all day. However, my boss said, go home because there's no one coming in, and it's a sunny day. Now, initially, it was supposed to thunderstorm. All day I heard thunderstorm, thunderstorm, thunderstorm. The weather changed. We can't predict the climate. So anyway, now politicians love to talk about climate change and influence the population. Say, let's save the planet. Here's the program for climate change. And what is the purpose of that? Where does everything lead when it comes to the government? Money. Because if there is a program, then they have to get the funding for it. So I decided to go down the rabbit hole and find out, was any of the funding utilized for climate change? Meanwhile, HAARP alters the weather. Now, what exactly is HAARP? HAARP is High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program. It studies the property and behavior of the ionosphere. And this has been going on for decades, and they can shift the weather. So is the weather authentic? In other words, is it raining or storming because it's just the natural direction of the environment that we're living in? Or is it a planned? Is it something that they are creating? We don't know, do we? So if they're going to plan the weather, aren't they also planning the climate? Aren't they taking part in it, and they're trying to create it? Because guess what? They say climate change, what happens with it is fires and floods. And haven't we been having fires? We've had these wildfires. Just saying. So the ionosphere stretches roughly 50 to 400 miles above the Earth's surface, right at the edge of space. The ionosphere forms the boundary between Earth's lower atmosphere. So the University of Alaska has a research facility, the Ionospheric Research Instrument, a higher power transmitter facility operating in the high frequency range. So let's just be aware there's been 13 experiments for HAARP, and they were granted $9.3 million to do this. So is climate change authentic? So every single wealthy entrepreneur, celebrity, politician, business person travels in private jets, celebrates their lifestyle with lavish accessories and beautiful homes because they're wealthy and they can do that. Now, if they're worried about little old us right here, the average Joe, if they're worried about us and our cars, and they have most of the wealth across the globe, and how do they have that? Well, they have that through industry. And what is that? They're mass producing a product, which means there's factories that are polluting the air all across the globe. Maybe it's in China. If you look at a lot of tags of clothing, most everything is created and made overseas. So isn't that contributing to climate change? Their private jets and all their cars? Because, it kind of is like a cycle. They say, oh, the economy is doing poorly. But when the economy is booming, what's happening? Production. And production is actually creating what they want to say, if they want to use their reasoning for climate change, isn't it? So do you really think an electric car is going to help when an electric car takes on this battery? And then there's a whole field of all these batteries from these electric cars? No, I think it's another way of control. It's another way of dominating us and telling us what to do. There's more of us than them, you know. Think about it. If we all just stopped what we were doing and said, you know what? No thanks. No thanks. We really have free energy out there. We're going to get on Nesara, Gesara in a little bit. There's free energy out there, and we don't really need to have gas and oil. Long time ago, we had these patents, and they've covered it up, and they say in the inner Earth, they're utilizing free energy. And the secret space program's been utilizing free energy. Anti-gravity vehicles, they're not using gas or oil. This is just a way of keeping us basically in the dark ages and not sharing. We think, oh, teleportation, levitation, telepathy, time travel is all science fiction. It's already happened. It's already happened a long time ago. We have to wake up. Everybody wake up. So these entrepreneurs and these politicians are using these vehicles like many cars or jets. They're private jets and they're traveling. And the general public is told to work really hard and generate more product and services. And what is that doing? That's inviting more mass air pollution through industry and production, boost sales, inventory, collective production to make more money. The national economic stability has to happen so we all are wealthy. Well, guess what? We're not getting wealthy. We're just running on our hamster wheel, and we're just trying to pay our bills because guess what? Inflation's gone up. Go to the grocery store. What does $100 buy you? Not much. Not much, doesn't it? So this push on this agenda who claim climate change. Now, back in 2022, September 2nd, John Podesta from the Clinton administration, he designated to design $370 billion. $370 billion was put aside for, guess what? U.S. climate spending to stop climate change. $370 billion. Can you imagine that? That's quite a bit of money, isn't it? $370 billion. I can't stop saying that number. It's so much, right? What the heck? What the heck? So John Podesta was appointed by JB, who spearheaded the Obama administration climate spending. So he's been at it for a while. He's been like, we need to have climate change. Because guess what? When they put that money aside, where's it going? Well, I tried to find where it was going. I don't really know where it went. They have all these programs, so many programs for this. So I'm going to just use his initials. I don't want to say his name too many times. JP was the senior advisor for clean energy, or served under Obama and Hillary. We'll say Hillary Clinton, her campaign for president. So let's see, what has JP done actually with the $370 billion? Well, the DOE announced another just this month that they want to spend $21 million for funding 30 projects and laboratories towards climate change. They just keep boosting this number up. Where's the money going? Where's it going? Where's it really going? Hey, Bob Harding, I think someone had a bunch of useless oil and had to come up with a way to set it to a premium price. Yeah, something. They were doing it with something. I don't know where it's going. So recently, administration also launched $7 billion for solar grant to fund residential solar programs. There's all these numbers: 370 billion, 21 million, another 7 billion. 7 billion. Do you think in your lifetime you're going to make 1 billion? Or are you going to make 1 million? They're just throwing this money around. They're just got the printing press going, don't they? And guess what happens when they print all this money? It makes our dollar worth less and less. We've spoken about the crashing of the dollar, the de-dollarization, how it's not going to be worth anything, and BRICS and changing of the financial system. Well, it looks like they're going to head into that if they keep printing this money. So climate variation is a redundant expression because climate is actually, always varying. Climate is always varying, isn't it? Like I said earlier, it's defined as the average weather, temperature, precipitation. And they try to tell you, the shorelines are coming up, and we're going to lose our properties because the shorelines are coming up. The polar bears, they're going to lose their ice. They come up with all these stories for us to panic, put more fear in us, and we're all distracted because we're just trying to pay our bills. And then they're just allotting another $1 billion and $500 billion, and it just goes on and on and on, doesn't it? So climate variation is a redundant expression. It's always varying. No day, no week, no month, no year is exactly alike. The Earth's atmosphere is evolving. So human activity, there's allegedly say, affects global surface temperature by changing Earth's radiactive balance and an increase in the greenhouse gases. And again, I'm going to say, if they want the economy to improve and then we're all buying, what's happening? That means that we're producing more, which means that there's more smokestacks that are sending out pollution into the air. And do we need everything that they're producing? I mean, when I go to the grocery store, I see shelf after shelf of food. How much of that food goes in the trash? How much of that is necessary? How much of that is actually genetically modified? There's whole aisles of genetically modified. If you look at the back of a lot of these foods, like, what is that really? And then the organic food is more money. So allegedly, all of this causes an increase in severe weather, severe flooding, and fires. So every possible crisis is currently blamed on climate change. Global warming, they changed the name of it. Global warming, climate change. Come on with this. Let's focus on ourselves. Let's focus. We are the gold. Not all this out here. Let's focus on what's going on with us. Let's learn all about our clairsenses, our abilities. You are a highly advanced being of light. You're not even using all of your brain right now. And your DNA is 100% worth something. There's no junk DNA. As you raise your vibration to a higher frequency, which means that you're in a place of love in your heart, you're having forgiveness for others, you're having compassion and kindness, law of one, not law of self. What's law of self? Service to self. Service to self, what exactly is that? When 95% of your thoughts and actions are all about me, 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 me. You want service to others. Service to others, 51% of your thoughts and actions are about taking care of others. That's how we're going to have a better world. That's how we're going to have more personal happiness and light in our life, if we find love in our hearts. Now, if you can't find the love in your heart, you have to lift off some of the darkness and negativity. And how are you going to do that? Well, you're going to imagine a ball of light in your heart. Why don't you do that right now? Imagine right now in your heart space, which is your heart chakra. I'd like you to imagine a ball of light the size of a golf ball. And when I say a ball of light, I mean it's white light. and it's in the middle of your heart. Let's imagine that. Let's relax our bodies. Let's go of any tension. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Okay. We're going to have all of the tension in our hands, our arms, from our shoulders down, release itself out through our fingertips. And we're going to imagine that the base of our spine is plummeting down into the earth. And that way we ground ourselves. Because we can't really create anything unless we're grounded. If we're up in our thoughts and they're looping and we're panicking and we're nervous and we have anxiety, it's not going to work. So we want to imagine the base of our spine is basically heading down right into the earth and it's grounding ourselves. Okay? Then we're pushing away any thoughts. That's not helping us. And we're having confidence and belief that we can do this. All right, so now let's go back to the ball of light, the size of a golf ball. It's in your heart right now. It's in your heart space. And you're imagining this ball of light, and this ball of light is spinning. And I always say it's spinning because when it spins, what happens? We break up any negativity. We also are creating a cleansing light within us. We're bringing ourselves hope. Because it's just like any light. When you shine light on darkness, what happens? Darkness is revealed, and that's what we're doing. So we're having this ball of light spin in our heart. Now, if you want to use your finger like I do, and we're spinning the light, and we're spinning it clockwise. And as we spin this light in our heart space, what is happening? It's expanding, and it's shooting out light. And the light, the sparks of light, and the sparks of light are touching your interior of your heart. You're gaining something right here. You're transforming. Now I'd like you to spin it counterclockwise. Spin the light. And it's getting larger and larger and larger. And now it's like this big. It's basically encompassing your whole entire heart space. Okay? So you're spinning it. You're spinning it. It's getting larger and larger. You're accepting it. That's my suggestion. This is all suggestions. You don't have to do this if it's not resonating with you. So this light actually is inviting. It's calming us down. We're having some stillness. We're having more peace within us. You want to spin it the opposite way again. And now it's getting bigger. It's approaching beyond, and it's coming out, and it's now filling this whole entire area, your whole entire chest area. It's spinning, and it's getting bigger and bigger. And can you see it? I close my eyes so I can imagine it getting bigger. Okay, and it's getting bigger and bigger, and now it's touching your cells, your organs. It's touching all of your organs. And this light is actually bringing you more happiness and more peace. It's pushing out the darkness. It's making way for you to come to a place of a new environment. It's a gateway. It's a gateway for you to receive everything that you've been wanting your whole entire life. And now guess what? The light is getting so big that it's covering your whole entire physical vessel. It's larger and it's spinning and it's bright, it's illuminating, it's gleaming, and it's going beyond you. And now it's in your human energy field. It's covering your chakras, all of your chakras beyond your physical vessel. It's going all the way up. It's also hitting your root chakra, the earth chakra, which is beyond your feet. It's hitting your galactic chakra. And why is it doing this? because it's bringing more light into your system. It's helping you carry away and make a wish and have all your dreams come true. Okay, and so I'd like you to just imagine everything. Just stay in this moment for a minute. And just imagine it beyond you, and it's glowing. And right here in this moment, maybe think about what you want. Think about how you feel. Just take a moment. I'm going to be quiet for a second. Maybe listen. Maybe do some listening. Do you hear anything? Do you see anything? Do you feel anything? Has everything improved a little bit for you? Are you accepting this? Okay, so when I did some psychic phenomena, I sensed that I was on the grass, so I was on the earth. So this helped me to feel more close to the earth. Okay, so we can open our eyes. And you know what? Doing those little, I guess, visualizations improve and stretches us, and it helps us to realize more of what we have within ourselves. And maybe you receive a sensation that I'm not mentioning. Maybe you say nothing happened. But just hold on here, because we have the ability to receive premonitions beyond this moment. It's not just in this moment when we're doing this. It can be afterwards. It can be, you can have a significant dream. It might be something tomorrow. Just give it time, because when you stretch yourself, you know, it's like you're changing systems or parts of you that haven't normally felt these ways or had these kinds of influences. So it might not be like this, like a magical moment. And it might be something that you receive in your third eye, your mind's eye, I don't know. So anyone who's joining us, I hope you like the video and subscribe to the channel. All right, so back to this climate change, and then I'm going to get on to the Nesara, Gesara, and then I'm going to speak about psychic phenomena, because we're almost at the 1 hour mark. So they basically have really found 1 million news stories and reasons to promote climate change. It might be in relation to anything. Oh, someone had a heart attack and it was because of climate change. So, it seems to be like the go-to, this climate change. So just be aware of that. And I know that they also like to give this end of the world scenario. If we don't fix things, it's going to be the end of the world. No, it's not. No, it's not. We're just beginning. We have this new world before us. It's very exciting. It's not climate change. Yes, we should be careful about taking care of the earth. 1 million trillion %. And how do we do that? We don't probably produce as much as we're doing. We don't ravish the earth. We take care of every living creature. Maybe don't build so much. Don't have deforestation. Take care of the wildlife. How about that? And then if we actually admit that we have these patents for, and we have knowledge of free energy, Tesla's free energy, then we won't have to fly jet planes on fuel. We already have anti-gravity vehicles. Let's admit to this. The government needs to get a handle on this, or not, or we don't need the government anymore, and we just, the people, take care of everything and make decisions. There's not going to be the end of the world, because of climate change. Okay? Now maybe if we have bad leaders, it'll be the end of the world, but not because of climate change. All right, so let's get on Nesara Gesara. What exactly is that? Well, Nesara Gesara is this bill that came before. It was a proposal for economic reforms in the United States, and it's the abolishment of the IRS. I love to hear that, and the Federal Reserve. And so we get rid of all federal taxes and maybe institute just one sales tax, and that would not be on necessities. It might be on something else. It wouldn't be on food. I don't know if it would be on gas. But I like the suggestion of Nesara Gesara, and I don't know if you heard that Brazil announced Nesara Gesara. And they announced it over the weekend. And they said that they were going to instill Nesara Gesara in Brazil. So is this a good sign? I don't know. I don't know if what's going on in France, if what's going on in Brazil, I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing. We can't really tell. There's a plan behind everything. Wow, I'm really tumbling through my words today. So Nesara Gesara is a proposal of economic reforms for the U.S. So citizen Harvey Francis Bernard just said, let's replace income tax with natural sales tax, abolish interest secured loans. So he published a book in 2005, Draining the Swamps, the Nesara Story. So there's been this discussion lately about this, and we've been hearing it for years now, because anyone that is talking about ascension, the awakening, flipping the switch, the emergency broadcast system has mentioned Nesara Gesara and this proposed taking down of the IRS and no longer having to pay taxes. And that would basically, if that happened, then what would happen? Basically, where would the government get money to do all these programs like this climate change program that I mentioned earlier for $370 billion? Where's that funding coming? Unless that they're printing money. Okay, so let's just see what's going to happen here. Is this going to be a domino effect? Are we headed down? Because I always talk about signs. I talk about there's signs of things to come. And I know that this France blackout, the fact that they're going to take down and ban all social media, is that a way of controlling the people? Or is that a good thing or a bad thing? I'm not quite sure. We don't know right now. It's yet to be decided. So let's get into psychic phenomenon, because you know what? I'm kind of tired of all this bad news. I do want to say that the more and more I'm reading and hearing about from these podcasters on Rumble and some of these tweets, I'm realizing that more and more awaken. And I don't know if in your hometown, if you've realized or you've experienced either family members or just people in your community, and they seem as though that they have kind of realized that there's something a little off. Maybe they're miffed. Maybe they've seen one too many videos on social media that are kind of explaining. I know there's this new movie that came out, and it's about child trafficking. I don't know if you got a chance to see it. What's Bob Harding saying?
Witnessed 3D, but more frequently time something had to describe. Stretches out the sun, and I see how it's changeable.
Yeah, I agree with you. I wanted to mention when I was speaking, and now I'm wondering if it was something that was meant to be, but the fact that I'm bringing up the child trafficking right in this moment, I wanted to bring up back about, I mentioned this Jay Podesta and the emails, and the data breach was known from Group Fancy Bear, obtained by WikiLeaks, 20,000 pages of emails, November October to November 2016. Now, what was that exactly? Well, here's the story. Now, we don't know if this is true or not, but I'm going to put it out there. There was this thing called Pizzagate. So there were these coded messages, inner workings of the Clinton campaign, so the Clinton Foundation. Now, March 2016, John DePesta, Hillary Clinton's campaign chairman, connecting high-ranking Democratic Party officials in the US were actually allegedly involved in this Pizzagate, and they were involved with human trafficking through these restaurants in Washington, D.C. One was known as the Comet Ping Pong Pizzeria in Washington, D.C. And there was also another theory, we could say, was this frazzle drip, and HC was involved in ritual murder of a child. So hundreds of threats were sent to this Comet Pizzeria for this. And a man even went in and fired 3 shots, one in the restaurant, one at the wall, one at the desk in December 2016. So people took this really seriously. And when this was released in this WikiLeaks, people freaked out from these emails. Now, Michael Flynn, I don't know if you know who he is. He was part of Trump's administration, and it was General Michael Flynn, or he is General Michael Flynn. Allegedly, he said JP drank the blood and bodily fluids of other humans in satanic rituals. And he tweeted, "You decide." The New York Department blows whistle on new Hillary emails. So money laundering and human trafficking and child trafficking. And he said a must read, and then that was deleted. So I don't really want to stay on that too long because I think that it could cause me some trouble myself. But I just wanted to mention it because you know how I am. I like to kind of go down the rabbit hole and bring up whatever I can find. Now, I want to get into something I think is even more important than any of this stuff, which is about you and about how you can kind of hone your crafts and learn more about your real identity. Now, as time has gone on, I want to share with you something about me, and this is significant because you probably don't realize it. Now, I've spoken about my past as a personal story. I've spoken about when I was a kid, I was a print model, and then I was doing acting for a while, and then I was holistic coach. But one thing that I want to share with you is I was very shy. I was very shy, and I had had a speech problem, which probably is one of the reasons I was very shy, because when I spoke, I had a completely different voice. And I went to this famous speech coach named Elizabeth Dixon in New York City, and my manager sent me there. And I worked on my voice for 2.5 years, and I still do my speech exercises. So I'm not somebody that you could say is really outgoing. However, as you can see, I'm just speaking, no problem. No, I'm not shy. I'm not any of that. And I really would say that's partly due because more of my gifts and more of my abilities have come online. I'm not feeling so fearful. I just and what I mean by this is in regard to you, what I'm sharing with you is this was something within me that always was there. And now it's coming forward more and more every day where I don't feel uncomfortable at all. You can see that. I'm fine speaking. I speak just very openly. And this in tune is going to change you as well, because the more that you work and practice your clear senses, the more that you ascend, the more that you come from joy and love in your heart, the more that you're going to realize exactly who you are. You have so much within you that you haven't even tapped into. So together we're going to tap into our potential. That's what we're going to do. So anyone who's joining us, I hope you like the video and subscribe to the channel. So your conscious level connects your mind and body and soul and impacts every aspect and every experience that you have. So we can expand and elevate our consciousness. And how are we going to do that? When we're more aware. When we are, maybe it's through meditation. Maybe you close your eyes. Now look, when you do meditation, You don't have to sit around for 20 minutes or 2 hours and do it. You can do a 5 to 10 minute meditation, which is you're closing your eyes. And like we always do, we let go of any tension and we focus on our breath. And when we focus on our breath, we're really pushing away any thoughts. We're in this moment. And that's how you're going to expand your awareness. One key way is through like little mini meditations. Maybe you're doing it through a visualization like we did earlier. And that's expanding your awareness. Maybe you're doing it by stretching your clairsenses, which is I'm hearing beyond this space right here that's around me, beyond outside the window, which I can hear birds chirping. And when we say it, we give this suggestion. It's very powerful. It's influencing you. If you accept it. Now, in this moment, you might say, it's not working. Okay, it's not working. But if you allow it to happen for you, it will. Maybe you're going to have a trigger word and you're going to hear something I say and it's going to trigger a memory within you. And then more of you is going to come outward. It might just be that you have to just let yourself do it. And you say, you know what? I want all of me to come forward. I want all of my gifts, all of my abilities. It's not as complicated as anyone thinks. All right, so let's talk about the scale. I've mentioned the scale before. And what is the scale? When you reach a higher frequency, when you reach the frequency of something that you really want, and you say, well, it's going to take me 20 years. We talked about this just a few minutes ago. That's because it's going to take you, your mind, you're going to have to develop. You can't do it because you don't know enough, or you just think you've been raised that it's a time thing. It's not going to happen overnight. Yes, it can happen overnight. It absolutely can. That's what I'm sharing with you. All of your abilities and everything that you want, essentially everything within you. If you can think of an idea of something you would like to do, then you can accomplish it right now. It's just a belief system. So when we come across this scale, so the scale is way up here is a higher vibration. Can you see right here? We'll just say the scale is this big so you can see my hands. So here we go, right here is the very top of the scale. And on the top of the scale is your highest vibration, which means your highest frequency. And that's how you're going to tune into, and you're going to basically bring forward everything, everyone, every possibility that's right for you. Everything, the highest level, which means the most humongous dream from your list of 10 humongous goals. And how are you going to get this high? And you think, oh, this is corny what she's going to say. I know what she's going to say. She's going to say love. She's going to say joy. She's going to say passion, appreciation, forgiveness. Yes, because this is true. That is when you have a higher consciousness. And when you're at this high level of consciousness, this frequency, this higher frequency, you're going to attract everything on that level, which is everything that's good and great and powerful. And everything that you dreamed of, you closed your eyes and you're like, oh, I had this dream last night and it was a wonderful dream. And I was diving off of this waterfall and I was on this tropical island. Maybe that's not the dream, but something that beautiful, maybe something that exquisite, but you have to be this high. Now, if you're down here, now what's below this? That's 1,000. Love and joy is 1,000. We want to get to love and joy because love and joy is the highest frequency. And that's when you're going to connect with your beautiful destiny. Okay? And how are you going to get that? Starts with your heart, like we mentioned earlier. Starts with your heart, which means you have to have love in your heart. You have to. You can't say, oh, I hate everyone and everything sucks and blah, blah, blah. No, you're not going to get it then. You're not going to get it. You're not going to get the dreams. And if you're there, maybe we can crack it open and you can lift off some of this darkness and you can bring light into it and you can connect with someone that you love. Anyone. And that will bring love in your heart. All right, so up here's 1,000, which is what we are destined for, isn't it? We want to get that high. Then what is below that? Passions 500, positive expectation 350, optimism 300. Hopelessness, here we go. We're going down now. It's going down. It's going down after hopelessness. Oh, I forgot contentment up here. So hopelessness is 250. Uh-oh, 250. We don't want to be at 250. We want to get back to 1,000. Climb that ladder up to 1,000. You can do it. Ascend. Ascend like the angels do to heaven. You're going to ascend. You're going to get up there. Because then we have hopelessness at 250. Blah. Boredom. Pessimism, 200. Uh-oh, we're going farther. Frustration, 150. I'm overwhelmed, 150. We don't want to be overwhelmed. We got to get everything off. We want to release any stress, any fear, right? Then there's worry, 100, doubt, blame. Oh, now we're down to 80. We're down to 80. Discouragement, anger. Okay, so anger. When you have anger, you're at 80. Remember, love and joy, 1,000. Forgiveness, 1,000. You're down here if you're angry. You're at 80. If you get down to 80, you want to get right back up. Don't stay at 80. Your frequency is so low. Then we have 50 is hatred, rage. Okay? Then we have revenge. That's 30. Insecurity, 30. Unworthiness, 30. Guilt, 30. Jealousy, up below jealousy, 10. Fear, guilt, depression, powerless, victim. So you're at 10. You're at 10 on the scale if you're there. You're at 10. You want to be up here 1,000. Love and joy. You want to be at 10. You want to get over this fear. What's fear going to do to you? Fear is going to affect your heart rate. Fear is going to affect your blood pressure. Fear is going to make you sick. You know, when we get sick in our vessel, does it happen like that? No. It's something that's out here that you let inward. It's a thought. It's something that you allow to attach itself because it starts out here, and then when it's in your body, it's been in your system a while. It's been in your thoughts a while. We can control our thoughts. We can come from a place of joy and love. How are we doing that? We're going to think joy and love. We're going to remember when we wake up tomorrow morning, what's your first thought? If your first thought is like, your first thought should be like, oh my gosh, it's 4th of July. Woo! This is a day to celebrate. Celebrate. Be happy. Be glad and grateful for this moment. We have gratitude for this moment. That's going to be your first thought. And guess what? If your first thought is negative, and it's down here and it's in fear, and like I said, it's at 10 with guilt and depression and powerless and you're a victim, you want to raise it right up to 1,000. You want to go right to love and joy. You can change that. It's entirely up to you. No one out here really cares. They don't care. They don't care. It's up to you. No one's going to save you. Just saying. All right, so let's get on to some psychic phenomena because we're at 1 minute and 4. All right, so I mentioned thoughts. Flashes of your premonition. Have you had any premonition thoughts or dreams or visions? What is that going to mean if you have a premonition? A premonition is that you're going to basically predict something that's going to happen. Happened to me a few times last week. It's been happening more and more, and that means that I'm more clear and I have more synchronicity, and it can happen to you. Are you having some visions or premonitions? So a premonition, a flash of precognition, it's a flash of information. It's only going to be seconds long, maybe not even a minute. You're going to see something before it happens. Maybe it's a warning. It's something that you should give you some idea to alter something in your future, or something you should change right here in this moment. Maybe it's something that's going to bring you awareness of danger, impending danger. Maybe it's going to be something that you're going to see someone, and maybe it's just going to be validation that you're on the right path. So it's a precognitive flash, your third eye, your mind's eye, or it's an inner feeling. It's physical. You're going to feel it. It's precognition. You're going to foresee an event, predict something. You have this ability. I promise you, the more we talk about it, the more you practice it, the more it's going to be evident that you have more abilities than you ever realized. We've spoken about telepathy. We've spoken about your clairsenses. Come on, join me here. We're in the fifth dimension here. We're raising our vibration. Every little bit counts. Step out into nature. Spend some time in nature this next couple of days. Maybe a walk, enjoy some sun, have some sun gazing. That's what I do. I do it every day. If it's a little cloudy, I still do it. I spend 15 to 20 minutes minimum every day. After I get off my job in the matrix, I go right and sit in the sun, because I need that. You need sun. You need the vitamin D. So all inanimate and animate objects all have a vibration. So how are we going to have these precognition thoughts or flashes? Through meditation, through spending time in nature, through practicing your clairsenses. Thoughts are going to travel whether you realize it or not. Now, have you ever come upon someone and it's almost like they are in tune with you, and either you're an instant friend with them, or it's like they're reading your mind, whether they realize it or not? Some people are very geared towards this already. They haven't even practiced. They just were born open this way. You too can realize what other people are thinking. And you know what? It's not even that you are, it's not like you are seeing it through their physical actions. You're sensing something through energy that's crossing over to you. It's having thought transference. It's having an energetic transference, a vibrational and a frequency. And you're receiving it. The more open you are, the more you will. Now, it's not going to just be with people. You might get it from animals. You might get it from nature. You might get it from a location and say, oh, this is a really creepy place, because you know something bad happened there. Maybe someone was harmed there. There was a death there. You can sense it. Like in my physical reality, in my home, it's haunted. There's a woman that was here a long time ago, and she lives here. She spoke to me before. She's not dark. She just lives here. And I've heard there's also children running through the hallway, because this home is from the 1855. All right, so the more we accept this and we push away doubt, the more it will happen for us. So let's do a little activity, because maybe we're going to have a flash, an impression that we receive, a transference. So an impression is going to be a mental picture. Maybe it's a sound that we hear, but it's not going to seem as though it's coming in our ear. It's going to be, we're going to hear it, but it's going to be inside of our vessel, right? Our inner life. And the more that we expand our awareness and make room for our higher consciousness, the more we're going to have abilities that are going to come through. Now, I know you have the ability to master at least one clairsense, 3 clairsenses, all the clairsenses. Maybe you are a clairvoyant. Maybe you are a channeler. Maybe you are a medium. Maybe you do remote healing. You can see other locations. You have these abilities. Everyone does. Don't let people fool you. It's out there. I'm not special. I just had near death experiences, and I believe that's why I tuned into these abilities, because I almost died a few times. And so I crossed over a little bit. So I saw light, and that's why I believe in God and I believe in angels. And in this moment, I'm going to remind you of angels are beings of light. They come from the heavens to earth. They're here to protect humanity. They ascend and descend on a staircase. They're immortal. They're genderless. Now, maybe they don't have necessarily wings and halos. Maybe they're just flashes of light. They're specks of light, but they do exist. We have at least 2 guardian angels that are with us from birth. They guide us, they mentor us, they are warriors, they're here to protect us. Now, you might call out and say, "Help me, angels, help me. I need angels that are with me to carry me through some kind of situation or some kind of divine intervention." Give me a message. Tell me, what should I do next? You can call out to angels and ask them. All right, so let's do this. So let's relax. Let's let go of any tension we have in our physical being. And we're going to drop down into our vessel. Let's remind ourselves to put all of our weight in our bottom, the base of our spine, go down to the earth. We're in this moment. We're pushing away any doubt, any thoughts. Maybe we're letting out a breath. Maybe move your head around so that you take away any tension. Okay? And we want to have stillness within ourselves. The more calmness and peace we have within ourselves, the more information we will receive. All right, so we inhale. Okay, so we're making physical contact with our vessel. We've dropped down. We're tuning into our hearing. We choose our seeing, our third eye, our feeling, our heart chakra. And so maybe we're really tuning into all of 3 at the same time, which is claircognizance, if you choose, or your sense of touch, your sense of smell, your sense of taste, whatever it is. I'm going to tune into my hearing, and then I'm going to make a suggestion, and my sense of touch. And I'm going to make a suggestion of something that we're going to suggest to our senses. And then let's see if we receive any impressions from another source of information, a flash of information. And so my suggestion tonight is for you to see the world that you would like to live in, for you to see the world that you would like to live in. Whatever that means to you. And I'm going to be quiet, and I'm tuning into my hearing and my sense of touch. You choose whatever you like. The world you would like to live in. Okay, so I received information. I don't know if you did. And so what I saw was it was interesting, the world that I would like to live in. And, immediately I said, okay, take away your thoughts, push away your thoughts, because our inclination is to automatically go to, when we hear a suggestion, is to go to the thought, right? What does that mean exactly? And so I pushed that, I wiped that away. I had a clean slate. And then I was like, here, feel, feel, feel. What am I feeling and hearing? And usually for me, what I do is I look down. And what I saw was, interestingly enough, I actually saw myself shimmying to the edge of a cliff, and then the whole world kind of came this way. So I was looking down, but then it flipped this way, and then I'm climbing down. So my sense of touch was really intact, because then I was climbing down and I kept trying to stay there, because you have to stay in that, into that concentration and that focus to receive more information. It's very easy for the flash to go away, so you want to stay there. It takes a lot of concentration. So I was traveling down this cliff, this rock cliff, and it was taking me down. And then I saw this sun, and it was very golden sun. It's interesting. I always speak about light on the horizon. And then I saw it was like another civilization, and someone was coming to me to say hello. I heard welcome. So I guess that's the world that I'm going to, is where it's going to be, a beautiful golden sun. Someone's going to say welcome, and it's going to be a beautiful vision. So that's what I saw. I don't know if you saw anything. Okay, so maybe before we go, because I'd like to do the ball of light again, because I believe that we should bring more light onto the earth, and it's creating energy. So let's rub our hands together, take it away from our body, and we want to feel some kind of little friction on our hands, and we take our hands apart. We should feel something on our palms. So you should feel some kind of energy. And if you move it, get good at this. It's like you feel that there's something solid between your two hands, but it's energy. And then you want to cup your hands if you can. Okay, and then we're going to bring the light around us. We want to bring light onto the earth. We're cupping our hands. Are you feeling still something on the palms of your hands? Then it's working. We're bringing light around the earth, aren't we? In this physical reality, we want to bring that. It brings us hope, and also it's positive. We're putting light around. It clears out our energy field when we do this. We have an energy field that is 12 inches from our body. It's from our skin outward. And when we bring light here, we're clearing it, aren't we? So let's clear the light. Let's have hope and positivity. And I hope everyone, and I'm just still feeling this. And last week we spoke about, wow, it's really powerful in my hands right now. We spoke about imagining being inside of it. So how about if we just imagine that this light past this moment? So this light's going to stay around us. So maybe you visualize this light past this moment. In other words, this ball of light is going to travel with you after you put your hands together. How about that? That's something. That's a way of stretching ourselves, isn't it? All right, so I'm putting my hands back together, and I want to tell everyone I hope you have a wonderful 4th of July. Tonight we covered the France riots, climate change, Nesara, Gesara. Let's cross our fingers about Nesara, Gesara, and we did some psychic phenomenon. I'm wishing good things for you, and I'm spinning light, and you're in the center of it. Hey, Bob Harding, what are you saying? My friends in my life are like stars in the sky, and leave the lights on. Beautiful. Thank you, Bob Harding, for sharing that. I want everyone to have a wonderful evening and a wonderful day tomorrow. Hope you have some yummy food. You spend time with friends and family. You get out in nature. I hope everything is wonderful for you. And I'll be back again soon. So you're in the middle, and I'm spinning light. And you're in the center of it. And I'm imagining the light surrounding you. I'm imagining a band a foot wide surrounding you, and it's spinning around you. And you're making a wish, and I want good things for you. Oh, I saw an explosion of red, so something good's going to happen. An orange red explosion, like pow, which means something good, right? A flash of light. So a flash of light. All right, everyone, spinning light. I'm sending it to you. Good things for you. Elsa's sleeping. She says, good night. I hope you liked the video and subscribe to the channel. I will be back and I want to talk. I know there was something I want to do. I want to talk about my Roku channel next time I come back. Okay, bye.